Leo, hi, it's your girl here. I'm here with your December reading. I'm also a Leo, so I have been anticipating this reading as well. Um, I've been meaning to do it for days because the energy that um, I was feeling about, well, first of all, the full moon was cray. It's cray. Um, there are many shifts happening and they're shifting really quickly. If you find yourself in situations that feel rather violent right now, it is not the time to be delving really like deep into your into our ego, which can be fairly fragile sometimes. Um, this is actually time for you to realize that what's happening is um, you're being sharpened into a very uh, fine fine and well tuned instrument. Um, Also, when things are happening quickly, as they are happening for Leo right now, when things are happening so quickly, even if they have not quite yet manifested, but the energy is there. The sort of like, the creative source, the creative force energy is there. Um, it's that scene, and I mentioned this to a friend the other day where I realized this. It's that scene in Inception, the movie Inception, where um, Ariadne is learning how to manipulate the dream world or the dreamscape. And as she's learning, she's being told by Leonardo DiCaprio's character, um, John, I think his name is, but he's I forgot, but she's being told that if the subconscious knows that you are manipulating the dreamscape, then the subconscious will attack you, where she starts getting actually attacked by these sort of images of the subconscious. Okay. Um, just know that what's happening right now is that you are manifesting, you are creating so quickly right now that there are bound to be energies that sort of, in a very opposite way, that sort of like rise up, and it is time for you to learn how to hone and to hold your power even through that. It's not the time to really kind of engage in the fight as much as it is to disarm it. Okay. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into the reading. I'm going to do the readings a little bit differently. And so, speaking of subconscious and conscious, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first pull. I'm going to pull the major arcana card. The major arcana is basically the archetype of what we're kind of looking at. What archetype are we embodying this month? And then the minor arcana, I've separated the two, are more the details, the subconscious elements. And so we're going to look at the major arcana as the archetype that we are to be embodying, or even sometimes the archetype that needs to be more refined, as we were talking about earlier. And then we're going to look at the subconscious elements, or the details associated with that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video and then come back with the cards. Okay, we're back. So what we're dealing with archetypally this month is the Devil card in reverse. And the Devil card in reverse is basically talking about it is now time to break those chains. It's time to be free. And actually, it's funny because I had this feeling the other day about um, feeling like something that had been broken out of something. I was thinking about the genie in a bottle. I'm a genie in a bottle, like someone had rubbed me the right way, or something. Basically, that I've been released from something. You might also feel that feeling of being released from something. You don't necessarily know what, but there has definitely been these very, very key things that have happened that released you from certain either situations or just a certain internal feeling of bondage. It also could be, a shift in lifestyle that's kind of freed you from sort of the shame of continuing in certain ways that you perhaps were engaged in before. But there's definitely and very certainly this feeling of being sort of out of prison. And it might even elicit a form of gratitude because it's almost like, I mean, I felt like I wanted to kiss the ground, like it was that feeling of like, oh, I'm finally free from this, and I don't even know how long I've been in it. I don't know if I've only been in it, for the last, few years, or I don't know if I've been in it my whole life, but there's something about me that feels very released, free. I'm out. I'm out. We're getting out of a place where um, that maybe we were protected before in a way, but it was almost like that protection itself was a form of a prison. Um, Maybe it's the way of which you sort of engaged in the world, where it was like that certain amount of protection that you were kind of involved in was literally acting like a prison and keeping you from what you're actually supposed to be or actually supposed to do, you know. Um, anyway, so yeah, there's a feeling of being released. With that feeling of release, there are a couple things that come up. You're This is Six of Cups here in reverse, and it is followed by the Two of Swords in reverse here. Some of you may also as well be seeing how you got there. Some of you may actually be starting to see who contributed or who contributed to um, your bondage, who contributed to you staying where you are. Now, the whole thing is in many ways, a lot of times we are unknowingly complicit to our own imprisonment. But we also have supporters, that aid in that sort of being complicit. So for some of you also, it's been like, we're lions, we're big, we roar, that's what we do, and people being too afraid of our roar, and or war, being too afraid of our expression as the beasts that we are, and they're basically, people wanting to have like lions in their house, and then they're like, no, but you act like a house cat and I'll feed you. you know and it's kind of one of those things where you're like, this isn't what we do, though. That's not your natural state of being. You were born as a beast. You were born as a wild lion, and the inability to express that is limiting to why you were here to begin with, why you're here for the first place, what your medicine, as in like medicine cards, what your medicine is here, And so I think this month you're going to have a little bit of like a very keen and aware eye of who who you kind of buddied with in prison, what now that you're out. You're gonna kind of like, kind of realize like, okay, some of these people were also in a prison and they couldn't imagine being free. But also, I'm not here to, I'm not here to stay in this sort of mentality. Now it's time to transcend that, start a new life, blah, 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 and where you kind of need to, shave off certain elements of yourself, or certain people. Like, this is time to do that, especially as we're going to enter in a whole new timeline. And this is like that story, which is unfortunate, but it's like the institutionalized racism story, which is that once you get into prison, then you can kind of get stuck in the system. You do not want to get stuck in the system. You want to get out and be free. Okay. Um, what about, hold on, I'm just, before I move on, I'm getting something else about this. Huh. Be careful of triggers right now. And we're not just talking about triggers in regards to people, but in regards to attitudes, and in regards to energies of which you once kind of approached life with. I don't know why I keep getting this prison analogy, but it works, for what I'm seeing in my head. But it's kind of like, before, what might have landed you where you were was a state of desperation, or was a state of feeling like you were lacking something, or just you weren't evolved enough. So you let all kinds of things and people and stuff around you to either not be lonely, or to feel like like a belonging, to feel like you had support. You do have support, okay? But who supported you before? The people who were there before, um, some of them don't know who you are now. And because they don't know who you are now and the power, the real, like they haven't seen your power yet. Like they haven't seen it yet. This is why we're free now. They've seen you in prison. They came and visited you. They might have brought you some gifts for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? But um they did not know who you are now. They don't know what this refinement, what this becoming a finely tuned instrument was about. Um, so anyway, this is where the path that you're on right now. You have the ten of Pentacles. And so, even for some of you who, was single, have been single kind of like almost exclusively, or or haven't really been any sort of serious thing, there is this element coming together of, it's not just emotional fulfillment, it's not just marriage and some kids or money. It's literally like the combination of them coming together, because the fact that you're here, that you are ready, that you're ready to, and I say it finally, to an instrument where you're ready to play, that you're ready to be the note. Okay, how here, hold on, let me get there. You're ready to be the instrument that the kind of creative source, the kind of universal prodigic, I don't know if that's a word, prodigic um, player is going to play. It's that sort of level of seriousness about the direction of which you're going. And in this new timeline, this is going to be this, especially with Leos, it's going to be this time where the things that you're going to be creating is almost like, it almost reminds me of like aristocrats, or it reminds me of establishing families that like has generations of things, of wealth, of buying houses now that stay in the family for generations to come, having marriages that last, having children who actually contribute in the building of this kind of new society that we're getting ready to be into. It's that kind of element of everything that you have been through up until now has brought you exactly to this exact point. The purpose of why you're here is now going to be shown very clearly. Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and this is just telling me, there's a couple tuning things that are occurring right now. There's a couple things that still need to be, fears that need to be let go, so that you can kind of fully allow the process to happen. And while that's happening, you might feel that things probably up until like the 15th are moving pretty slow. And you might even feel a little unsure. Like, I feel like some of you might actually internally feel what's happening right now, but you guys still might kind of like ride the fence a little bit for, up until about the 15th. And then after the 15th, we have the Knight of Swords. After the 15th, things are going to start charging forward, and they're going to start charging forward in a way that I think almost it not I don't think that is completely unexpected. It's almost like if you're doing the numbers right now, you're not going to quite know like how we got here, but by next year, you're going to be like, wow. No, I didn't see those numbers. I did not see those numbers. I did not see what this was going to add up to. I really didn't, you know? So just kind of stay focused. Stay really, really focused right now. Things are going to look crazy right now. We are in eclipse season right now. We just had the full moon in Gemini, and so, and I did a video, if you guys had watched it, but I did a video that was talking about, um, especially with the eclipse, we were dealing a lot with the mind, and Gemini is an air energy. Okay, so we're dealing a lot with the mind, those two sides, the conscious and subconscious, the elements of things that still need to be healed, and then the elements of things that need to be healed, still healed, and then the elements of things that we know. And so that was kind of happening. It might still be happening a little bit. Right around the 15th, things start actually getting a lot more clear. And like I said, then we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. or upright, upright. Okay, so next to it is the Queen of Swords in reverse. And this is telling me that, you know, this is probably not the time to get too comfortable and put your sword down necessarily. If you've been, like me personally, I have been engaged in my let me put this over. I've been engaged almost fully in doing meditative work. And I just kind of, just for the last couple days, just because the energy was so crazy, had just kind of like, took a couple days off from meditating. But I had kind of exclusively been in sort of just like making sure that my reality is exactly fine tuned, that we're fine tuned and ready for, next. So at the end of the month, at the end of the month, there are gifts that are coming, and then there are things that you are walking away from. But the whole thing is look at where she's not walking. We always call this like walking away, but she's actually just walking forward. She's walking forward from these cups. And the next card after this, I think I mentioned this in another video. It's apropos, so I'm just going to say it. So this is the Eight of Cups. The next card is the Nine of Cups, which is this dude who's in a shop who has kind of everything that the person was looking for, which is then followed by the Ten of Cups. The card before the Eight of Cups. You see the cups here. The card before the Eight of Cups was the Seven of Cups, and Seven of Cups is kind of the some people call it sort of the like illusion card, like the illusion of the things that you have, that you want, kind of presented in front of you. For some people, it is the things that are not yet manifest. And the Eight of Cups is saying, you can't stay here and still get what you want. You know that there's going to have to be a sort of reconciliation of the fact that what you want is over here and not here. Okay, so that's what I got for you. I hope this was helpful. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, Instagram, Instagram.com/ I.am.a. WXTCH. It's all down below as well. Also, I have a tarot special that I am running. Was running actually until today. But if you're actually hearing about it from this video, then I will extend it to you. Just mention that you saw it in the YouTube video. I'll extend it to you this month. So just, you'll see the special in my Instagram. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful, and I will talk to you guys next month. Bye!